Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications that we can apply to our life from the chapter Genesis 28, 1 through 22. We see that Isaac sends Jacob away, and he blesses him as he leaves. Esau sees that Jacob has been blessed once again, and he goes to Ishmael and takes him a wife. Now, it's hard to say for sure if Ishmael was just being rebellious and saying, my father's told Jacob not to take away from here, so I'm going to take away from here. Or could it even been a benefit of the doubt? Maybe Esau thought, Ishmael is my father's brother, and if I go and take away from him, then maybe that will please my father, and that'll ease some of this pain and hatred and hurt that I feel. Now, when we have a tragic that happens in our life, we feel lots of pain, and we look for ways to set aside that pain. When I was younger, I lost my brother, and it was very painful to accept, and it was kind of hard to figure out how to move on with my life without him in it anymore. And the pain becomes overwhelming, and you look for some kind of pleasure to ease that pain. The problem is the pleasure is very short-lived, and then it's a continuous cycle where you have to keep looking for something to replace that pain, when in reality the only way to let go of that pain was to give it to God and to forgive. And then God gave a peace that is beyond all understanding. But it allowed me to move forward and find real pleasures instead of temporary pleasures in life. God's covenant was with Abraham, and his covenant was with Isaac. Now God offered this same covenant to Jacob. Don't miss this point. It wasn't given to Jacob. God didn't just say, oh, well, you're the son of Abraham, and so now you just receive this blessing, and I just give you this covenant with you, and you don't have to do anything. That's not how it works. Yes, Jacob received blessings because of his grandfather, Abraham, and from his father, Isaac. Just like we may receive blessings from our parents and grandparents. They may give you a car, they leave you a house, they leave you some land. So that's a blessing. But you might not have learned how to do hard work. And Abraham already had his story, and Isaac has his story with God. Now Jacob would have to start his own story, his own relationship with God. And that's what each one of us have to do. We have to not just listen to the stories of our parents and our grandparents and how God has touched their life and how he has affected them and how he has blessed them. We have to create our own relationship with God. We have to have our own story that we can share and tell to our children and to other people that we meet along the way. And in telling this story, it'll strengthen our faith, and it may lead to a positive path for somebody else. Now, Bethel is the place that Abraham made his covenant with God, and he entered into this land. And he made a small altar and sacrificed to God in that area. It's kind of cool how Jacob is setting up a monument and making a commitment to God at the exact same place as he's leaving the same place that Abraham came into. So, and some may think that some may think that Jacob was trying to bargain with God, saying, if you do all of these things, then I will do this. I don't think he was really bargaining. I think he was making a sacrifice to commit his whole life to God. I think that he heard enough stories that he believed in God and the wonderful miracles and things that he can do and perform. So I think he was willing to take that step and say, hey, I'm going to follow you, God. I'm making this commitment. I'm making this covenant with you. I'm going to make the same covenant with you that you made with my father and with my grandfather. So God will bless Jacob greatly. But there will also be some lessons that Jacob has to learn along the way. And I feel like we're no different than that. We have blessings all the time, but sometimes we have to learn lessons too. Sometimes we have to learn to trust God. Sometimes we have to learn that things are out of our control. And we have to trust that God knows better than we do. God sees more than we can see. We're just at the beginning, and that's all we see is what's right in front of us. But God even sees at the end of the journey. He knows how things are going to turn out, and He knows the best way to direct us. So even though lessons may be difficult in life, we have to trust God that He knows more than us, and He will get us from A to Z in the best possible way and on the easiest path. Sometimes we can buck that system and we can go a different way, and that's going to make things a lot harder, and we may take some detours, and that may cause some pain, and there will be lessons. There will be lessons to be learned. So we will see these many lessons that Jacob has to learn and go through over the next couple of chapters. So may God be with you in everything and in every way.